I feel like I look so much more red than you.
Oh,
Is that true? My
yeah.
isn't my lighting like
Yeah. It doesn't look bad. You just
no?
have nice
Okay.
color. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the difference between California lighting and Canada lighting.
You know what? And it was like 70 degrees. So I
Oh.
was sunbathing just the other day and I got burnt. So this could be a burn. I didn't think I'd be getting burnt in March, but yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Hi. It's good to see you.
I know, Janelle. I'm so excited to connect with you and talk about how your last couple of weeks have been. And I know we were saying something about maybe talking about friendships
Mm-hmm. Yep.
today.
Yeah. Because I made a new friend today. Actually did. So this morning, Sophia had physical therapy for her elbow. She's still doing physical therapy. So I took her early this morning and it's only 30 minutes. So I just wait for her in the lobby. So I was waiting there and this woman came in and she was sitting a couple chairs down and I was wearing Timberland boots, like the brown boots. And I was just sitting there and she leans to me and she goes, do you work in construction? she, she asked me if I worked in construction and she goes, or is it a fashion statement? And I
Hmm.
said, oh, just a fashion statement. And she goes, oh, okay. She goes, I just thought I'd check because I used to have some boots kind of like that when I worked in construction.
Oh, she worked in
She did.
construction.
And she
Oh,
was
that's cool.
through our conversation, I learned she's 56 years old and she's been through a lot in her life. And we ended up because she was very early for her appointment. So we talked for probably 20 minutes about just anything and everything, hobbies, kids. Um, we were talking about how trends from the past come back, like fashion
Hmm.
trends and hobbies and stuff like that. And we were just having a fun time. And when her therapist came out to call her back, she was starting to walk back and she goes, "Can I give you my number and let's get coffee?" And the lady at the front desk started chuckling. She goes, "Oh, that's so cute." And so then I got her number and she leaned to her therapist. She goes, "I just made a new friend."
Oh, that is so
And so then
sweet.
when Sophia came out, I go, "Sophia, I made a new friend." And we've already, texted back and forth, and we're meeting for coffee next week during Sophia's appointment because she'll have an appointment shortly after Sophia.
Hmm.
So she's going to come early, and then we're going to go grab coffee while I'm waiting for Sophia's appointment. So the reason I thought maybe we could talk about friendships because I was, just well, one, I found myself smiling on the way home, thinking about it, like, oh, I wonder, it'll be nice talking. I don't know much about this woman other than the things that we exchanged in those 20 minutes. But I was thinking how it'll be fun just sitting down and learning about her. And and I don't know if it's going to, become this, a long-standing friendship or whatnot. However, I was thinking about how it's nice to have people that you're just talking to. And it's like, you can have your close friends, which play an important role in anyone's life. And I think I've told you this, like, I'm the type of person that just has a handful of good friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of acquaintances for sure. But when it comes to friends that I might reach out to or check in on or, go on vacation with or something like that, there's very few. And I really cherish my close friends. But I don't, go out and meet with a bunch of people or anything like that. And so I have my close friends. And then I was thinking how nice it is to be able to connect with someone new and just almost, there's no, there's no danger of like, not danger, that's not even the right word, but like they don't know my whole history. We haven't
Hmm.
been through tough things together and it's really just casual conversation. But
Yeah.
knowing that I'll have it, on a somewhat regular basis.
Right.
So yeah, I was just thinking about about that, and I was curious, what your thoughts are on friendships and acquaintances, and do you have a lot of friends that you stay in touch with, or a handful of close friends? It just got me thinking about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you made this new friend and yeah, you two are going to hang out together. I don't know. I'm like, when did I make a new friend? I'm
Mm,
just trying to think back. 'Cause when you texted me
mm-hmm,
that, I was like, oh, it's probably harder the older you get. And if
mm-hmm,
you're not in that corporate space where you are working with a whole bunch of people every single day, making new friends is a little bit more challenging. It's not like I actually talk to a lot of people at the gym either. So I've got my headphones on and I'm just,
yeah.
doing my Stairmaster and things. I'm pretty like to myself.
Mm,
But yeah, I'm kind of like you where I really don't have a lot of friends, but
mm-hmm,
I like it like that. Like
mm-hmm.
and I feel like you do as well, but they need to be super low maintenance. Like I cannot have a friend get mad at me if I didn't text
Yes,
them or if I haven't
yes.
called them in a while. Like I want to be with people if it's been a few
Mm,
months, maybe even a year or a couple of years, that when we reach out, it's like we're there together.
mm.
But there's no expectation of like, oh my gosh, it's been 5 years. I can't believe you haven't called me. Or I texted you a
Yeah.
month ago, you didn't respond back. So
Mm,
that's kind of one of my like priorities, I think, in
mm-hmm.
in close friends is that the expectation, or maybe the bar is just set so low. Like, I'll see you when I see you. We'll talk when we talk.
Yes.
But I can't have this like we are going to connect on a weekly basis
Mm.
um thing going on with my friends.
Mm-hmm. What do you think creates those conditions that like where do you think we reach a point as humans where we're so intricately or so connected to someone that you do feel this sense of they are my close friend, and yet a lot, months or even years can go by and you still feel that connection, and when you do reconnect it's like no time has passed, because I have those too, and I really cherish those people that, yeah, quite a bit of time can go by, but they're still on my mind and I still consider them one of my closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think, how did we get to that point?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there was a shift for me and maybe for you too, becoming a parent
Mm,
where I just didn't have time or energy
yeah.
to really invest in anyone outside of raising children.
Hmm.
And then especially when you have the full-time job
Yeah.
along with
Yeah.
it. And when my kids were young, I was working full-time and then my mom was going through cancer. So I was kind of
Hmm.
in this sandwich place, caring for my mother, caring for the girls. And so there was like no, I did not have friends. I wasn't spending time with my friends. I didn't have any energy to do that. And so value my alone time too,
Hmm.
that like when I did have those moments of not having to care for my mom or the girls or not have work, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so magical. I'm alone. You And like Scott
I
would
know
be out.
exactly what you're talking about.
I was like,
Yeah.
yes, this
Yes.
is the best.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's
For
kind of,
sure. Yeah, I think things definitely changed when I had kids. Um, I'm thinking about, I consider you one of my close friends, and I'm picturing the others. And I think what all of them have in common, yeah, you know what it is? Everyone has seen me and accepted me. Like I felt that, there was a moment in time where I felt really cared for or loved or seen without judgment. I could be vulnerable. And yeah, I guess maybe there was just a real comfort and trust. in that
Mm.
other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I felt that in my mind, they became one of my dear friends. And so
Yeah.
even though, time would pass because we would move to different places or get different jobs or whatever it might be, even though when time passed, I think because of the key moment, some key moment in our
Mm-hmm.
past where I felt seen, um, that's where it stays, where
Mm.
any amount of time could pass and they would still be one of my dearest friends.
I love that you said that, these key moments in your life where you could be
Mm-hmm.
absolutely vulnerable. It made me think about when I was in my early 20s. Actually, when I was 19 and 20, I was in, and I think I've told you about this a long time ago, but I was in an abusive relationship. It was
Mm.
verbally abusive, and then he started to get a little bit physically abusive too. And so the friends who were around me during that time,
Mm.
I mean, I could maybe not talk to them for 10 years, 15 years, and then we'll just get on a random Facebook
Yeah.
call, a video call, like, oh, I wonder how TJ's doing. He's in Hamburg. I call him
Oh,
up and it's like, oh, Danielle, and it's like
yeah.
we're right back there 25, 30 years ago. Yeah, no,
Mm.
what am I saying? 25, I'm 50. Yeah, 30,
Yeah.
30 years ago. And
Yeah.
we're just bonded. And I think it is because it was such a significant part of my life.
Mm.
And to have those few people who were really in it with me, like
Mm-hmm.
they will probably be my friends for life.
Mm-hmm. Because my husband has really close friends from childhood, and I have one really close friend from childhood that we reconnected later, and then we lived together for a while. But my other friends from childhood, I I think of them as friends per se, but I don't I don't even have their phone numbers. Like I don't text them. It's
Hmm.
more of like a social media friendship. And I have really fond memories of my childhood. But in my childhood, I wasn't very vulnerable. I didn't share anything, my dreams and my heartache or anything like that with friends. I didn't have much back then. It wasn't until later in life where I went through harder things, and it was the people at that time that I'm the closest with. I'm not
Hmm.
super, super close with people from my childhood, even though I keep in touch with them. I know what's going on in their lives, and yeah, if they needed help, I would help them, but I'm not, if I look through my contacts in my phone, it's not people from childhood. And
Yeah.
yeah. And I recently actually, you might have seen this in one of my money mindsets. Oh, it was last fall, probably like a digital detox. I
Mm-hmm.
recently went through my phone and purged a lot of contacts that kind of fell into that category of acquaintances. I probably never texted them, but I got their number at some point. And I realized like I just wanted my phone to be a sacred place that is like my closest people
Mm.
instead of a whole bunch of names to scroll through. So
Yeah.
I deleted, hundreds of names, and I don't have very many names in my phone anymore. I really just have the people that like I would invite to an important event of mine.
Yeah.
Those are the people in my contacts now. Um, and like I said, there's just the one person from childhood in there. So it's interesting, I
I'm
think.
gonna do that. I mean, and what a great time too with like spring equinox, kind of
Mm-hmm.
going through that digital detox, decluttering. Because my
Yeah.
phone, it's like I think I still have all my work contacts
Yes.
and like maybe 20 years of contacts.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
know these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I had this whole category of it'd be someone's name and then in parentheses, so and so's mom.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
met them on a play date and we needed to coordinate a ride or something. Um, so it's really funny those phases of our life. Yeah, I had the Nike contacts, the Lululemon contacts, the
Totally.
parents of play dates.
I know. If I have to put like a subtitle
Yeah,
in for who
a
that person
description.
is, they probably don't need to be in my phone. Who is this person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the lady I met today, I do have her in my contacts as post-performance rehab because that was the physio place.
Right, right.
Like in parentheses. But who knows? Maybe someday the asterisk will be removed. I don't know. But yeah, it feels good, I think. And plus, you know what? Heaven forbid, knock on wood, my contacts get hacked into.
Yeah.
I don't burden all these people with their contact information being stolen.
That's right.
They get a bunch of messages from Facebook, some fake account in Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If you think about the theme or what your friends have in common, the
Hmm.
relationship you have with them and what the commonality is outside of they were there for significant moments and you were able to be vulnerable. Is there anything else in terms of what comes up?
Well, a lot are Asian.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh.
A
I
good
just have to
pers-
say one thing, like
yeah.
with this Asian thing. I mean, I really do feel like Asians stick together. And
Yeah.
especially like Japanese people. Like,
Yeah.
have you been to a Japanese, like a real Japanese restaurant? There will not be any other type of Asian working there. It's like usually all
You
Japanese.
know what? I believe that. Like if I think back to Japanese restaurants I've been to, yeah, I think it is always Japanese workers.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when I was in Vancouver, I went to Goo
Hmm.
and I started speaking Japanese to the waiter, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not Japanese." I said, "What?" And then I blurted out, "How did you get this job?" And he's like, "My friend is the chef here." I was like, "Wow, you just like majorly broke some tradition."
Yeah. The
Because,
bamboo
yeah,
ceiling has been
the bamboo
broken.
ceiling. I just assumed he was Japanese. Like,
Yeah.
oh, anyway, okay, so most of
Mhm.
your friends are Asian.
Yes. The high percentage are Asian. I'm trying to think what else. Um, Highly empathetic people. Yeah, they're very, everyone, if I kind of go through that list, very thoughtful, caring, very, very empathetic, high empathy. Um, yeah, that's probably the main thing because, when I kind of go to other characteristics, whether they're introverted or extroverted or, their interests, their work interests, like those are pretty varied or they can be pretty varied. Um, but many I worked with, so
Hmm.
many. I mean, I'm really just thinking of like five people right now.
Yeah.
So maybe not many. But I
The
mean, I
five friends you have.
yes. What about you? Do you have a type?
I know, right? I'm thinking, yeah, as you were saying that, I was like, oh, do I have a type too? I think in terms of like empathetic, really good
Mm,
listeners, you have that too. I consider you one of my good friends too, Janelle. You
mm,
know, you're a good listener, empathetic, caring. I think it's also like you all think about others. I don't think I have
mm.
any good friends, yeah, who are just like, what's in it for me?
Yeah,
The ones who kind of are like that,
yeah,
just through different acquaintances, and I kind of just stopped talking to them. I'm like, I
yeah,
don't feel great after I talk to you. I feel
yeah.
drained, like I need a nap.
Hmm.
How
You know,
cute is
if
he?
Spiky, so cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
He's ready for some attention.
I don't know. Maybe just he might have just gone to the bathroom
Hmm.
and he probably was coming in like, "Where's my treat?"
And gone to the bathroom like in the house.
Hopefully not.
Oh,
But I
okay.
do have. So I have our patio door open and there's a
Okay.
little piece of turf out there for him
Got
to
it.
go.
Yes. Okay, that
Um,
makes sense.
but
Yeah.
who knows? There might
Yeah.
be something, a surprise somewhere.
No, that's smart. Just keep the door open. That's very, very smart. You know what? To what you said around some people that are in it for them. So if I think about that digital detox I did, and I said that I eliminated names that or contacts that I've lost touch with over the years. And if I rewind and think, why did I lose touch? Mostly it's because I also distanced myself if I felt like it was a one-sided friendship or one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
Because I definitely, throughout my life had close friends that I'm no longer close with, but they were close at one time. And then at some point, I just felt like they always needed something from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the basis of our relationship. They needed something. That's when they reached out. And a lot of times I realized, oh, this is transactional. This is very transactional.
Right.
Or maybe I did lose, I think I lost some close friends when I had kids and they didn't have kids. And our
Mm-hmm.
lives just went different directions. And we must not have had that close enough bond where it was going to last, a few years. And then
Yeah.
we weren't still close after a few years. So, yeah, it's interesting.
I know there's some friends of mine I remember because it's so drastic when you have kids, right? Your life
Hmm.
really changes completely. And
Hmm.
there are some people who can empathize with that and
Hmm.
relate even though they're not parents themselves
Yes. Yeah.
or they don't have fur babies either, but
Yeah.
they're still there for you and they can yeah, like there were some friends of mine, I was really impressed that they were able to hold space and be in that space with me, even though, it was drastically different from anything that they had experienced.
Hmm. Yeah, that is pretty impressive. Yeah. Hmm. It's interesting how some people come into our lives. I like to think back on that every now and then. I had a very good friend that just had a birthday, and so I was wishing her well and hoping that she was reflecting on, all the impact she's had on people. And I do that on my own birthday. I often on my birthday, I think about what I'm grateful for. I think about, um, my life. I'll kind of
Mhm.
replay my life in my head from start to finish, and I'll picture people that came in and out of my life at various points. And they, at the time were really important to me. Even though I've lost touch with many of them, I'm still grateful for who they were at that time. And
Yeah.
I always make it a habit on my birthday to think about that, of the people that came into my life for various reasons. I mean, even this lady that I met this morning, if I wasn't wearing those boots, we probably wouldn't have started a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And and I think about other people that have come into my life by chance, or maybe it was because of work. I think a lot of us get friends
Yeah.
through work, but what were the circumstances that we both decided to work at the same place at the same time?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's interesting to me how paths cross for people,
Mm-hmm.
and who we are for each other, whether it's just in that moment for a short period of time or long-term friendship. And
Yeah.
we're with each other through difficult times and happy times. Life is interesting that way, I think.
Yeah, I love thinking about that. I'm going to start being more intentional with my birthdays too, because usually I'm
Hmm.
just like, get me a cake. That's all I
Yeah.
want. And it better be like this Chantilly cake at Whole Foods. Have you had that?
No, but
I
it sounds
love
good.
that cake. Yeah, it's Gabby's
Mm.
favorite cake too. It's like this
Mm.
white cake with like whipped cream frosting and fruit.
Mm. So you
So it's
must get
really
it at least twice a year for Gabby's birthday and your birthday.
yes, we get like the whole thing. Let's get the big cake. But I think I want to start being more intentional and thinking
Yeah.
about who's impacted me, who supported me throughout my life to get me to this place that I'm at
Hmm.
now. And what a beautiful practice.
And I specifically, I think about doing it on my birthday. I used to do it at other times. I used to think about the past a lot, and I realized that it was holding me back. I was wishing things were still the way they
Mm,
were in the past. Not necessarily like the friendships or whatever. It's not that I was feeling bad that friendships went away. It was more that I was just found myself thinking about the past a lot. And I realized that wasn't healthy for me. I needed to either be in the present moment or forward thinking. That just
mm,
was better for myself. And so I purposely made myself stop reminiscing all the time
mm.
and thinking about the good old days and, oh, remember when I could, fit in those pair of jeans, and remember when I could go do this, and remember when I had those friends and we would do that. I had to purposely stop doing that, but I kind of allow myself on my birthdays to just really appreciate this long life that I've had and all the experiences and the people that have come into my life over these years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun little thing that I've been doing.
Well, it sounds like you're doing it in a way that isn't like, oh, the good old days. And I
Yeah,
wish I was back there.
exactly.
It's just like reflecting on
Yes,
these people
reflecting and
and
appreciating.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I mean, what a beautiful practice. Because then it
Mhm.
makes you more appreciative of the moment too, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I still ask for the cake. I still want the cake, but there are other hours in the day.
I know.
After I've had, we always eat cake for breakfast on our birthdays.
Oh, I love
Because
it.
you know me, I'm obsessed with anything
Yeah,
sweet,
you
but
don't
I
even
always
slice your
wanted I
cake.
always wanted my dessert right away. I always wanted my cake right away. So I started doing that for the kids. Like for their birthdays, I would give them cake. We would sing and do the cake first thing in the morning, just because I wanted to eat it already.
Yes.
So we've always done that. We always do the birthday cake for breakfast.
Oh, that what a great tradition. I
Yeah.
learned what caking is from you. Because I never saw anybody eat a cake without slicing it.
Oh
Like,
yes.
isn't that called caking?
I don't know. I didn't realize it had a name, but yes. Yeah. You
Okay,
don't have
I
to
was like,
slice it.
oh my gosh, look at what Janelle did. I think I was showing Blanca, and I think she was like, oh, she's caking. I'm like, I want to do this. This just looked so like queen,
Free.
abundant. Like, forget it. I'm not even gonna slice this cake.
No,
This is just
just
all
give me
for
the
me.
fork. Yeah, I do that all the time. And I buy cakes even on non-birthdays and
Oh yeah, me
non-celebratory
too.
days. I'll just get cakes
Yeah.
because why not?
Our good friend Gina. I remember I went over to a place, she's probably going to get mad that I'm saying this, but I opened her fridge and it was just like only Veuve champagne.
I love
And I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night anyway. And she's like, let's open a bottle of champagne. And I said, what? It's just like a Wednesday
it.
night.
It's
What do
just a normal day.
we And she's like, every day is a day to celebrate.
I love that.
And she
Well,
was
you know
telling me,
what? We
even
can
when
learn a
she
lot
was
from that.
right, like she was saying, even when she was a school teacher, she was drinking champagne. And she's like, it wasn't Veuve, but
Yeah.
celebrating every single day.
You know, that's beautiful.
I know,
Everyone
right?
should have their own way of celebrating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Champagne and cake. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Every day that we have is worth celebrating, that we have another
Hmm,
day.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of having another day, I just watched the series called Paradise. Have you watched that?
No, is
Paradise?
this on Netflix?
It is on Disney Plus, I think.
Oh, I
It
don't have that.
has it's a season, so they have season one, won some Emmys, has Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden are the main two guys. And then trying to think, who else, but no one else like, that maybe is that mainstream. But it's James Marsden plays the president of the United States, and Sterling K. Brown is his head of secret security. And it goes back and forth between current day and the past. But the premise is that basically there's going to be the end of the world. Not like the world is exploding. They know from scientists that there's this like really big volcano in the Antarctica in Antarctica that is going to blow, and when it does, it was going to be this major catastrophic event for the world, which would then lead to likely a nuclear war. So the US had this intel, and so they were preparing by building an underground city in Colorado in the mountains. So they spent like over a decade building this massive city that could fit, I don't know, 35,000 people. And then eventually the day comes and they move into the underground city. And so then there's the questions, did people survive in the outer, in the regular world? And they're trying to cover it up because there were survivors, but they didn't want the survivors finding the place. So anyway, it's a thriller. There's a murder and they're trying to figure out who did it. It's really good. And there's going to be a new season coming out, but yeah, but it was kind of this idea of the world kind of ending, and also the morality of that, because the US knew and the
Yeah.
president knew, and he was struggling with, should I warn people so that they can, knowing that today is the last day,
Yeah.
because the volcano eventually explodes, so they know that it's bad. And then he's like, should we tell people so they can be with their loved ones
Mm,
and just enjoy this last day? I mean, not enjoy, maybe that's not the right word, but
yeah.
like spend it how they want to spend it if they knew that today was the last day.
You're really good at summarizing the like plot of a series. You'd
I
be
know.
really
We
good at
actually don't
this.
have to watch it now.
I'm like, wow, I'm really following along. At first, I was thinking, like, what does this have to do with celebrating the day? But then
Because
now,
there's a last day. And
I was like,
for
is this,
for
does this have to
billions
do
of
with
people, they
friendships?
didn't get another day. But 35,000 people and some survivors, they got another day.
Okay, okay, how about this? Let's end with this. If you were in that, if this was actually happening in real life, would you
Yep.
want to know that today is the
Oh,
last day?
mm, yes.
Oh gosh.
Not you? You wouldn't want to
No,
know?
well, both of my girls don't live with us. So
Mm,
I would just be like,
be
you know,
sad.
yeah, I think if they lived with us, then I'd be like, we're staying home.
Yeah, eating cake.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's pop open the valve. Um, yeah, but since they don't, I would not want to know. I would just be like, yeah, I want to
Hmm.
be doing my thing. Here we are on YouTube, and then boom.
Yes. And that was one of his advisors, the president, because the president was really struggling with this. When the advisors was saying, because they knew actually the nuclear, so the volcano erupts, and that creates like a tsunami and stuff that's just kind of moving across the world. So it's only affecting a certain portion and moving up towards the northern hemisphere. But then the nuclear attacks start happening because countries want to basically fight for whatever resources they have and keep what they have and not let others get it. So the nuclear war starts. And so when the president is thinking of getting on live with the nation to say, this is the end, they're telling him, no, it's better that they don't know, because if it is a nuclear war, it's just going to be in a flash and it's done. As
Yeah,
opposed to, you tell them now and they're still however many hours and they're just panicking and they're
exactly.
sad and they don't, and it creates just massive chaos. Um, so
Oh,
yeah.
wow. That sounds
So
like
I
an
won't tell
intense
you
show.
what he decides. And also I won't tell
Okay.
you who kills him.
What's the show called
Because you have
again?
to wait till the last episode to find out. Um,
Okay.
Paradise, because they created
Paradise.
Paradise. This like city is like made up and it has everything kind of perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love these kind of sci-fi types. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll like that. We just
Yeah.
started watching last night, Running Point.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's with Kate Hudson,
Ooh.
and it's about
Oh,
her
wait.
taking
The
over this.
Waves?
Yes, the
Because it's kind
basketball.
of like the Lakers, right? That's why you
Exactly.
love it, because you're a Lakers girl.
Well, it used to be, but yeah, I know
Yeah.
that's I think it is like based on the Lakers or
Hmm.
inspired by
Okay,
the
I have seen
Lakers.
parts of that because my son watched it. He loved it. Bo watched it, and I was listening in on some of the things, and I saw Kate Hudson, and she's so good in it.
I know, I
It's
love it.
really good. So yeah, I want to go back and watch the whole thing.
Okay, so Paradise and Running Point.
Running Point.
I
Okay.
love it.
Sounds good. I have my next week planned.
Exactly. And some cake.
And some cake.
Well, thanks,
Yeah,
Janelle.
thanks, Danielle. So good to catch
Mwah.
up.
Yes. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait. You know what? I'm just